Well, hey there, folks. I'm meteorologist Matt Barrington. Obviously, we are tracking Hurricane Beryl, a very powerful storm that passed over parts of the Caribbean here this morning. Now it's fully into the Caribbean Sea. You can see the 3D imagery of it. It is a very powerful system as it continues to work its way off to the west. There it goes, went right over some of the islands there, the windward islands of the Caribbean. Now it's fully emerged into the Caribbean. It's still a very strong storm with winds of 150 miles per hour, moving to the west-northwest at 20. So it makes it a Category 4 storm, but a very high-end Category 4 storm. It'd only take a few miles an hour more to get up to Category 5 strength. The good news here is that as it tracks across the Caribbean, one, there's not a whole lot of land there in the central part of the Caribbean. Secondly, that there's very hostile upper level winds. It is going to be weakening. Only place they're really going to have to keep an eye there, of course, be Jamaica. They may take sort of a glancing blow, some of the Cayman Islands. But the next real chance of landfall is going to be over here in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico and Belize. Belize takes up the southern half of the Yucatan Peninsula, and that should hit there Friday morning and then work its way across the Yucatan. By Saturday morning, be in the Bay of Campeche, the southwestern part of the Gulf. Let's show you some of the models and the different possibilities here. And you can see nearly every one of them takes it through the Yucatan. Now you do see a few that try to turn it up our way. Those are part of the Navy no gaps model system. They are no good that far out, okay? In fact, hurricane forecasters call it the no good model. He nicknamed it that. The only reason it's even on here is because a few days out, it does have some validity and they do want to have that information in there. But once it gets out to about 5-6 days, it starts going nutty. And that's not a concern of ours. We're not going to be worried about that. It is going to stay well south of us, so don't look too hard at those model tracks. Let me give you one of the best model that we have, the European model. Glancing blow of Jamaica on Wednesday, and then Friday morning making this landfall, showing in here on this one Belize, but you know that's kind of like the southern part of the Yucatan, and then work its way across Belize, across the Yucatan into Mexico, and then back into the Bay of Campeche, once again well south and west of us. So no direct impacts from us. That's very unlikely that we'll see any sort of direct impacts. Some high waves and that sort of thing, rip currents over the weekend. That's going to be about the worst of it for us. Satellite radar, it's quiet here for us today. Our Monday is actually much quieter than what we saw on our Sunday, but that means it'll be hot, really hot. Mid-90s to upper 90s out there this afternoon. Heat index values up around 110 at times. Yeah, so do your best to stay cool. It's going to be very, very hot. As we look ahead, of course, we got the 4th of July coming up on Thursday. We should sort of get back in sort of our typical pattern for this time of year. Hot, humid, scattered showers and storms. So a little dry today, but the rest of the week I think are kind of typical for this time of year. So we know how this goes as you make your 4th of July plans. You just got to kind of work around those scattered showers and thunderstorms. Listen out for the thunder. If you're out there like at a cookout or something, you may have to go inside for a little bit, let a storm pass by. That generally happens in the late afternoon. Things generally clear up by the time we're getting those fireworks shows going around 9 in the evening on Thursday. Fingers crossed that should be the case this year. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the upcoming weekend, long weekend for a lot of folks. Once again, very typical early July weather.